Hi, welcome to Andrew Buckle Shelf Tour Part 2. Fiction House. I love these sort of books. From pulps to panels, from jungle to space. They produce a lot of stuff. Very unusual. Fiction House. Also includes The Art of Joseph Doolin. Very unusual, sort of got a weird book at the back as well. Strange. But this is just a beautiful volume, full of great stories all the way through it. At any point, if you like to see a review, complete review of the book, please put in the comments below. Be great to do. Perfectly happy to do them as well. It's just brilliant. I wish they'd bring out more volumes like this. This one is Yo Books. Yo Books always bringing out great things, and IDW. But things like St John's Publishing, Avon, Ace, all those sort of things. Be great to see volumes on them as well. But this one, Fiction House, a great read, full of some great stories. I love picking up European books. This one's in English, but at the same time, this one I got from Dave's Comics. This is in Brighton. I love Dave's Comics. It's one of the best shops. It's 2 floors. Actually, there's also another shop a bit slightly down the road in Brighton. Really worth checking out. Just superb. If you want really 60s, 70s or other periods, just full of zillions of books. Also UK ones, everything. And this Streak of Chalk, I think it's lovely. NBNM, probably NBM. Anyway, and there it's the back. Just beautiful artwork all the way through. And quite a lot of these sort of books are just great. I've picked them up over the years, tons of them. Of course, I've got rid of lots of them over the years, but they're always worth checking out. This is an unusual series, Weird Love. I don't know how many of the books. This again is IDW and Yo Books, produced quite a lot of these. And it's all like romance, loves, crime stories, very unusual ones. I noticed on Kindle Unlimited, I've just joined Kindle Unlimited, and they've got all the Weird Love ones as well. So I will be reading through a number of those books on that. But some great little stories and really worth checking out. Well, that says Yomance. Okay, Yomance Publication. This is a superb book. Dynamite have been bringing out loads of these over the years. Sadly, recently they haven't. I would love to see more. They announced a quick few and I thought, you know what, I must get that. And then it just vanishes, which is such a pity. This one, The Art of Vampirella, The Warren Years. Really brilliant. Just full of just great covers all the way through. You got the cover and obviously the original cover there as well. Obviously the artwork. Just absolutely beautiful. They've also got a Dynamite Years. Now, I never bought that one. And also, of course, many other ones. I'm always surprised they never brought out The Art of Creepy or The Art of Eerie as well. That would have been brilliant. But this one, Art of Vampirella, The Warren Years. Absolutely superb. The Golden Age of Comics. EC Artists, San EC Comics. Now, this one are all covers. All covers that were all done by EC comic artists. Obviously, varying numbers and varying different, obviously, skill levels, etc. And some are a bit more, not that great, but still EC ones. So it's like Wally Wood, Harvey Kurtzman, etc. I don't know if those ones particularly are in it, but that's the sort of thing that it's trying to do. 150 of them, just brilliant. And of course, you've got some other ones on the back. This one is superb. Taschen. Now, this is the complete Russ Manning, now newspaper strips. This is volume 2, so obviously it's not complete. Obviously, there's multiple volumes. I would love to see IDW bringing out these volumes in sort of digital versions because quite a lot of them are completely out of print and they've produced over the years tons and tons of great books. And you think, I would love to get X, Y, Z. When you look for them, they are very, very expensive. So either it'd be brilliant if they brought them out again, which I suspect they won't, but it would be nice if there was a digital version, maybe licensing reasons, I don't know. But I would love to see those books again. And I think, well, this one I got probably because volume 1 was probably too expensive, but volume 2 was a more affordable price. But a really beautiful quality book all around. They always bring out lovely quality books. And I imagine that some people have got all these like newspaper strips now, row upon row upon row of these sort of books, Tarzan one included. This is a lovely book. This is a photojournalism. I love photojournalism books. This one includes lots of pages from different magazines. This one, I don't know, Divosh. I don't know how to say it. I was saying it completely wrong. But it's got loads and loads of various journals. And it's on the back here. You've got here the details of all the things like Stern and Sunday Times magazine, Paris Match. Any of these sort of books, I'm always picking up. Whenever I see it, I think that is a book that I must get. And this one is absolutely wonderful. So Things as They Are, really photojournalism in context since 1955. This is a beautiful book. I really love this one. The Golden Age of DC Comics. And of course, any book by Les Daniels, brilliant. And Chip Kidd and Jeff Spear. Absolutely marvellous. And it's all DC ones. The Golden Age of DC Comics, 365 days. It's just full of like Green Lantern, various, all sort of very unusual sort of DC strip. Just brilliant. Love it. And again, if you want me to review it, I think I might have even reviewed this one because it's just a lovely book. Anything by Chip Kidd, I just think just superb. Lots of adverts as well like that, which are always great. I love that one. Various giant flying plane. £1.50. $1.50 I should say. $1.50 for a giant plane. Okay, maybe. This is lovely. I love this one. Of course, The Walking Dead. From the artist of The Walking Dead. This is a very thin book, but very, very enjoyable read. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Or looks, it's not really particularly a read, but there is a little bit of text in it. But it's just great. And that's BHP Comics. Really, really worth checking out. I don't know if, of course, copies are available still. I assume they are. But I bought it quite a few years ago, so who knows. This is another DC one. A lovely one. I love Taschen. Anything this one. This has got over 600 pages. Oh, 600 pages. Wow. The Golden Age of DC Comics. Now, I think there's a huge, massive mega volume. Probably weighs a ton. I don't really like those. I actually prefer in this format. One, it's cheaper as well. But it's also a lot easier to lift and also a lot easier to store. Though I don't know why I had it in this pile, because sometimes when you have a sort of like book this size with all the other books, if you put them right at the bottom, topples over, or the shelf just looks wrong. But this one, Taschen books. I love Taschen books, but I wish they'd bring out every single one of their books in this sort of nice size. I would be buying thousands more, maybe not that many, but a fair number of Taschen books if they were in this sort of format. I've got lots in this sort of format from Taschen, but quite often they announce one. I think, oh, that'd be the David Hockney one. Just superb. And of course the recent Marvel ones, the sort of Fantastic Four, Spider-Man ones. I would love to see it in this size format. Okay, it's not as good, but still at the same time, you just get just so much easier to hold. Doesn't like crush you. This is lovely. Now I wish there were more collections of this sort of thing. Garth. For some weird reason, I mean, when I look in the States, there seems to be loads and loads. Obviously, there's vast more newspaper strips. But for some weird reason, in the UK, we do not seem to have really captured all of these sort of collections. And there's zillions they produce. It's so annoying. Garth. There's so few of these sort of books with all the collections of the stories of Garth. They're just great. I love these ones. So Garth 1975. Now, I don't know. I assume there must be. I can't remember. Of course, Frank Bellamy, brilliant artist. A 1976, 74 version. But this one is the 1975 one. And this obviously Daily Mirror, Book of Garth. Whenever I see this sort of thing, you just have to get this one because you probably won't find a copy of it again. This one sort of disappears at Comic Mart very quickly. I love these books. And I've got a number of these ones. Robert Opie. They're just, and this one again was an Oxfam book. You can see where I buy quite a lot of my books. Oxfam books. I love going down there. And not always. Sometimes you go in there and you don't find anything. But sometimes you find some real gems. And this one turns up quite a lot. But it's a really good book. Full of just loads of pictures of, you see Andy Cap there, books, posters, records, different various kitchen, loads of things. And obviously you can see film posters, Guinness for Strength. And this one covers all the years. Obviously, you get the scrapbook ones. I love those scrapbook ones. 1970 scrapbook. I wish they'd bring out a 1980s one. That would be brilliant. So, love that. This one. Ooh, this one is The Changing Face of Fashion. Very unusual. Now, beautiful of brilliant illustrations from lots of magazines. So this is definitely worth checking out. The Gate, Oxford. You can see another one. The Changing World of Fashion. Just beautiful all the way through. And there's obviously on the back, a nice, like, I'd say Art Deco period, 1930s, that sort of period fashion. Someone will turn around and say, no, it's 1920s, 1923 or 25, that sort of period anyway. And you can see there, I've got quite a few of those sort of books. They're always great. Oh, let's just move some papers there. Oh yeah, that was weird. I got, that all falls over. Got this one here, Ken Reid one. Got some text with it. I got one of the Ken Reid books and it was just had this inside. Most unusual. But still, I love these sort of ones. These turn up quite often in my local shops. Colour your own Captain Marvel. I know probably some people will say, oh, why? Well, if you go through it and look through it, some of the illustrations in this are really, really good. Really sharp, super quality. And you get some, sometimes like covers of old magazines in really nice detail. And for a reasonable price, I think these books are great. So colour your own Captain Marvel. I've got a Doctor Strange one. I've got many others as well. DC Comics. And you can see it on the back. She's one of the boldest and brightest heroes in the Marvel universe. Captain Marvel. And the final one, this little bit, I'm just going to do another set in the set. I can't put too many books on the table because probably what will happen, the table will collapse. And this one is just an absolute masterpiece. Probably one of the best books for this year as far as I'm concerned. Maybe not for the story. The story was fine. Nothing wrong with the story. But the art, this Alex Ross, just a true masterpiece. Fantastic Four, full circle, just full of the most intense, amazing, colourful, beautiful artwork around. I love this book. So there's the back of it. Really worth checking out. If you can get a copy of this, definitely recommended. I'm a mega fan of The Walking Dead, as well as, of course, millions of zombie films I've watched. Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. I remember going to see Dawn of the Dead back in the whatever it was, 77, 78. I loved it then, and I still enjoy it. And The Walking Dead, of course, is a superb comic series, as well as, of course, a superb TV series. Obviously not everyone's taste, but I've always enjoyed it. And this one is the AP edition, artist proof. So it's the pencils, just truly stunning all the way through. Always great to see a book of pencil. I would love to see a lot more of these sort of books. Sadly, of course, I would love to like all the Fantastic Four ones. It would have been nice because all the way through the artist, but that will never happen. But it would be still very nice. You can always dream that you could sort of have access to all those sort of wonderful things. And you can see collects the monumental all-out war story arc. Absolutely superb. Negan, of course, on the cover there. Just great. The only thing that's always slightly odd, because of course some of the characters are dead or don't exist, etc. Compared with the series, always a bit of a thing. Now, I didn't buy every single issue of The Walking Dead. I read most of them through the compendium books, which they were all pretty amazing. This is one of my favourite ones. Well, I've got lots of favourites, but I love this one. Atlas at War. This is just superb. I just think this is edited by the superb Dr. Michael J. Vasillo. I just really hope that there's another volume of this. Volumes 2, 3, 4, 5, as well as Atlas at Romance or Atlas in Romance, Atlas in Love, whatever. It would be brilliant if there were a lot more. This has just got so many great stories, packed solid, and it's also got lots of information as well. A great collection. And I would love to see Marvel Comics bring out all their Atlas stories in this format. Not done in the sort of cleaned up, super cleaned up. These are not. I mean, they've got a bit of obviously restored, cleaned up a bit, but still superb all the way through. If you want some really great war stories, of course, EC Comics produced millions of great war stories as well. But Atlas also produced quite a lot of great stories that probably, without this sort of book, will be totally forgotten about, which is really quite sad. There are some actual classics in this I think are just some of the best. Brilliant stories. So Atlas at War, really worth checking. Of course, a great selection of artists there. Russ Heath, Stan Lee, obviously. Anyway, obviously writers as well as artists. I'm a mega fan of Logan's Run. I've got all the books, Logan's Run books. I've seen the film about 10 million times, or it feels like I've seen it filmed. Also the TV series. I love the TV series. Logan's Run. And also I've loved all the comics. I've got most, not all, but most of the comics. And this was obviously a series there of Logan's Run. Now this was from, well, it says here Tidal Wave, but I think it was Blue Water as well. There was a number. Sadly, Logan's Run has had a bit of a checkered career in terms of comics. I mean, the Marvel ones were great. There was also a manga version as well. But I wouldn't say I was 100. But this, I actually preferred more than the comics, because the artwork in this, really, and let's just select a page. And I'm just going to flick. Some of the artwork in this was really very good. Much better than the actual end result, which was coloured. I wasn't so enamoured most of the art, but this was actually such a joy to get. So Logan's Run, the adult colouring book. I haven't coloured it. I could, of course, buy another copy and colour it up. Maybe one day I will do that. Weirdly, on the back cover, there's no Logan's Run at all. Obviously, it's a standard tidal wave comics.com. This is something special, very unusual. I was reading about this at one point and I thought, you know what, I must get that. The Secret History of 60s Greatest Unseen Comic. Very, very unusual. This is by 2000 AD and the Poseidon Complex. It is very unusual. It's actually got sort of like all the way through newspaper strips of a newspaper strip that never existed. What an amazingly brilliant concept. And I just loved it. Absolute. The Golden Tiger. It says there, Gold Tiger, not Golden Tiger. Gold Tiger even. Presented by Guy Adams and Jimmy Broxton. Very worth checking out. I love this. And you can see there, it's also got like book covers and everything. They've really gone full on to make it as if it really existed, and just, you know, all the hidden documents, all the various scripts and things. Just absolute masterpiece. And you really do get that feel of the development of a book in the 60s, obviously, that never existed, unless it did exist. Who knows? This one is superb as well. The Marvel Silver Age Collectibles. I don't know if there's another volume, probably Marvel Bronze Age Collectibles, who knows? But this, I love these sort of books. This one's MMMS, obviously the Marvel Marching Society, I think it was called, and Marvel Mania. What a brilliant visual. It's a visual guide. It's got some text, obviously, but it's basically, does actually have things like various prices. Of course, the prices are probably completely wrong now. Hulk sweatshirt, shirt even. $200 to $500, those sort of things. I'm certain the prices have probably completely changed. Also, Spidey guns and Marvel flyers. Just lots of great stuff. Absolutely fascinating. When you look at some of the stuff, you think, oh, some of it looks terrible, but some of it looks pretty amazing. And I imagine there are people that love the stuff and put it all on their shelves. Why not? Absolutely great. This one's the all-new second edition. I don't know if there's a third edition now, but still, I absolutely love this sort of book. I hope people bring out more of these sort of things, because there must be a vast amount. DC Silver Age Collectibles. Surely there must be a lot, or Warren ones, or loads of other companies, obviously, that produced various collectibles. Maybe Captain Marvel collectibles and things, because there were quite a few of those as well. That would be brilliant. This is a lovely book. I love anything by Michael Allred. Always, and this one's got a foreword by Neil Gaiman as well. David Bowie. Really brilliant book. I found this a great read. I love the music. David Bowie's music is superb, and the book itself just runs through a whole load in a very unusual way. So it's not just done in a conventional way. Of course, Michael Allred, his artwork, just a masterpiece. I've done a review of quite a lot of these books. So again, please let me know in the comments if you would like to see a slightly different review of some of these. Now, the back cover's a bit unusual, but because there's no visuals there, but still, you've got Michael Allred, etc., and Laura Allred, and Steve Horton. This one is superb. I've said that for most of them, haven't I? This is the Book of Genesis. Very unusual one, this one. I didn't realise it even existed. Fairly recently, I picked this up, all 50 chapters. Wow. This is the Book of Genesis, illustrated by Robert Crumb. What a brilliant book. And this is the first book of the Bible graphically depicted. Nothing left out. Of course, there has been, over the years, a number of books of the Bible. Obviously, illustrated ones. But this one, apparently, nothing has been left out. And wow, the artwork is amazing. Absolutely superb all the way through. All 50 chapters. And you've got there at the back, the creation, Adam and Eve. This is a brilliant read. Now, I wonder if at some point, now that would be really impressive. Someone bringing out a book, a graphic version of the entire Bible. wonder how many volumes that would be. That would be quite large. This is an amazing book, and it's fallen to pieces. A very old one, but I really love this one. And I assume at some point this must have had a wraparound, but it doesn't obviously now. But it's just absolutely the history of the comic strip. So you can see there the history of the comic strip, and this is just great. I love books about comic strips, comic magazines, every sort of thing. The history of lots and lots of illustrations all the way through. This is definitely worth checking out. And you can see the back cover there. What it covers as well, obviously 1920s, you can see various things, hundreds and hundreds of illustrations that are included in this book. And this one, similar sort of thing, this is women in the comics as well. And again, it covers obviously all the periods, all the way through from 1920s, 1930s, etc. Women in Comics by Maurice Horn. And I think I've got another book here as well by him as well. And this is superb as well. And also on the back cover, you can see Archie there. You can see obviously 1970s, 1960s, etc. All the way through. That's the sort of book I love. I love these ones. I wish there'd be more of these sort of books, but weirdly, they just, I don't know, not as many as... Perhaps there's a very limited audience. I can only assume that's the case. Unfortunately, it's just fallen off. I knew it would at some point. I must sellotape that back on. I don't want to lose that off that. So put that aside. This is the Weird World. I love this one. Again, this is a bit similar to the Fiction House one. This is the Eerie Publications. And the trouble is when you get these sort of books, I always, certainly for me, I always then think, oh, I must go and buy a couple of copies. And they're not the cheapest of books to get, but they're still fascinating. This book is packed solid with tons and tons and tons. Unfortunately, I don't think it's got any complete, no, just flicking through, it's got no complete stories. But still, it has got lots and lots of the covers, lots of information, and it's just, I think, an absolute joy. Eerie Publications. See the blood splatter. You can see obviously what it is. It's obviously not romance ones. These are horror magazines like Weird, Horror Tales, Tales of Voodoo, etc. from 1965 through to 1975. But actually very hard to find copies of. Especially, maybe not in the US, but certainly in the UK. Not ones that turn up that often. This is a lovely book. Joelle Jones, The Lady Killer. Really thick, chunky. I love it. Again, Laura Allred. I love Laura Allred and Mike Allred. Just brilliant work. And the colours and art all the way through this, absolute superb. I think this is one of my favourites of omnibus. I always think of it as an omnibus. This is from Dark Horse. Just beautiful. Real nice quality book. And you can see quality book. Just look at that lovely pink there. It's just great. Perfect picture, homemaker, wife, mother, but she's also a ruthless killer. That would make it would make a great film. But it's beautiful. 1950s housewife with blood-fueled antics and a vicious killer for hire. This one's great. The Art of Betty and Veronica. Now, could it be better? Well, yes, but it's got lots and lots of inked pages, always good. And also some covers, but quite a lot of illustrated pages you can see there. This is The Art of Betty and Veronica. And you can see there who it's by. And this is by Archie Books. Of course, weirdly, would be, of course, by Archie Books. And I think it's a nice quality book. Finally, a gorgeous book showcasing the best Betty and Veronica art from their 70-year history. Just great. This one is lovely. Elsie Harris, picture. I would love to see more books from Jessica Martin. I don't know if she's produced any more. Produced 2 or 3. And I think since then, nothing. But I would love to see more because I just love this one. Picture Palace is just beautiful. It's all set. It says Picture Palace, weirdly. It's good, as it says there. I might as well just read the back, isn't it? You can see a bygone era of the silver screen. Just stunning all the way through. First graphic novel. But I said there was another one that was just brilliant as well. So I would love to see more from Jessica Martin. She was I think she was an actress on some show on TV. I have no idea. Don't know anything about her acting career, but I still found this book really, really impressive all the way through it. So Picture Palace, really worth checking out. There's a lot of these ones. I could have bought more. Liberty Meadows, I have over the years bought a number of this. This one is book 2 of Liberty Meadows by Frank Show. I just think the artwork is absolutely superb. Obviously all the strips there, all the way through, cover and so on. Just beautiful artwork. Really, really worth checking out. And of course, there's a number of other ones as well of these Liberty Meadows. So I could have bought other ones. Just awesome. This one is very similar to the Marvelocity, or whatever it's called, something like that. This one is Mythology, and it's, of course, DC comic art of Alex Ross. I love Alex Ross's work, just amazing. This is just a brilliant, brilliant thick book, and it's, well, full of just great pictures all the way through. I loved it. Absolutely love this book. Of course, it's got Batman on there. Now, I don't know what this one... I think I got this one second-hand. I don't think I bought it for $23.99, as it says here. A Glorious Place, A Glorious Age, Neon Renaissance. And it's Chip Kidd, of course. Chip Kidd, brilliant. Any book by Chip Kidd is always just stunning as far as I'm concerned. And this one, strangely enough, another Chip Kidd book. This one is Captain Marvel. Now, I think this might have had a wraparound. I don't know, but it's got this, look at this. It's lovely indentation there. It's just, the lightning bolt there. Just beautiful. Unfortunately, of course, because of it, you end up catching it. Quite often I've caught it. I imagine over time it will get dented if you're not too careful. But still, what an absolute beautiful book. Again, exactly like the other one. Just full of just lots and lots of brilliant examples of Captain Marvel, Shazam, Mary Marvel, Captain Marvel Jr., and so on. Just great book. So that's Chip Kidd again, and Jeff Spear, the world's mightiest mortal, as it says there. Though, I always think world's mightiest mortal, hang on, Superman's mortal as well. He's not an immortal. But anyway, minor point. Now this one is, I'm not probably ever going to review this one, but I love Wally Wood's work, so I had to get it. But I would have to say there is a certain repetitiveness of the stories in this. But still, the artwork is superb. But at the same time, I would not recommend this for everyone. It is definitely an 18+ book. The Erotic Art of Wally Wood. And I don't know, FB, Fantagraphic Books. It's still an absolute brilliant, brilliant book. Naughty Wood. But it's, perhaps not for everyone. But certainly, if you're a Wally Wood fan, I'm certain you probably think, you know what, I must get that. Because it is a real nice, thick, chunky book of lots and lots of pages of a variety of things. Let's go on to The Strange Death. This is one of... I bought this when it came out, the original stories. It was in a magazine that I just absolutely loved. And as soon as this was announced, the collection, I thought, I must get this. Living the Line presents The Strange Death. This has got some of the best artwork. Just beautiful all the way through. Just beautiful illustrations. The history of... it's just amazing. Dave Sim and Carson Gruber. Beautiful, beautiful. There's no words to describe this. This is one of my just favourite all-time books. Living the Line. Really worth it. If you can get a copy of this, this is a must-have. I think top 10 books of all my comic books. And this collection looks like it's going to topple. So I better probably start to wind down on this. And then get another one with a bit of indentation. I always think that looks great. Really does, but I just think sometimes you end up catching your fingers there. It just seems to, and I don't know, but still, what a wow, what a brilliant artist this guy was. George Carlson. This is an absolute, I can't remember, I think the reason I got this, and I might be completely wrong, so I'm not going to stand by it. I think I was reading about by Harlan Ellison, one of my favourite writers, and I think he mentioned this one, The Perfect Nonsense. I'm completely wrong probably. But that's the reason I got it. I wouldn't have probably got this otherwise. But I just thought, oh, you know what? I must find that. Perfect Nonsense. Wow, what an amazing book. Perhaps not for everyone, but it is full of some super inventive design. Just all the way through, in comic books and stories and pages. Just an absolute masterpiece. And this is, again, Fantagraphic Books. Really worth checking out, this one. I love it. Absolutely love this book. It is a thick, chunky book. And you'd probably find it very hard to find the originals of these. So it's really worth checking out. And again, that pile's looking... This is the last one. The comic book, or comics, of the American West by Morris Horn. I knew I had a Morris Horn book in there. This one is superb as well. Full of lots of Western books. Really fascinating. And it's not just the Westerns from... Obviously, it's got Westerns all over the place. Obviously, the Wild West. but you've got cowboy love. I think you've also got westerns around the world as well. So it's not just US books. So it's got lots of French, etc. I just think this is just a superb. It's a pity that there's not more volumes of this sort of things. Comics of the science fiction, comics of horror, and perhaps, I'm saying that, of course, there probably is, and someone will say, yes, he did produce that. He did also, of course, the World Encyclopedia of Comics, as well as the history of comic strip and 75 years of comics. So lots of great books. And that is one volume I have not got, World Encyclopedia of Comics. I've seen it a number of times at comic convention. It is huge. One of those books that I look at and think, I must get a copy of that. I've read it many times because it's been in my local library over the years. Unfortunately, the library's gone, so now I can't read it. But it is so heavy. It's one of those books you think, oh, I'll get it next time. And of course, you probably never, I never find it next time. But then, of course, I'll see it again and think, oh, I must get a copy of that. And didn't. I don't. So at some point, I will get a copy of it. And probably by that time, it'll gone up in price. But this one, The Comic of the American West, I just think is superb. Really fascinating read. So that is yet another shelf. I've got loads more shelves to go through, and I will be going through them over the next couple of days, weeks. Obviously, it takes a bit of time. Just takes time to lift them down and pull them off shelves or move them backwards and forwards. Just getting down the stairs, that sort of thing. So instead of going around with a camera and showing all the shelves, which I could, of course, do, I don't really like to do that. I prefer to just go through the books, and I will be showing the covers. Again, please put in the comments below if you want to see a review of a particular book, or if you want just more information. I am always happy to answer some questions about the book. Many of these probably are out of print now. Some are still readily available. So hopefully you found this of interest. Any questions? Again, please put in the comments below. Bye.